Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers. We have new videos dropping every day, Monday through Friday, so hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Today, we discuss the keys to victory for the Packers in their Week 3 matchup with the Cleveland Browns. Packers, of course, 2-0 on the season. The Browns 0-2. Green Bay beating the Commanders last week 27-19. The Browns fell to the Ravens in Baltimore 41-17. Packers lead the all-time series between these two teams 13-7 in the regular season. They met only once in the postseason. That was the 1965 NFL Championship game, and the Packers won that one 23-12. Here are the keys to victory for the Packers against the Browns. We'll start number one. I think this is the most important and the most obvious. Green Bay has got to keep Myles Garrett in check. This is a great game that features two of the best, if not the two very best, pass rushers in the NFL, and the Browns' entry into that contest is Myles Garrett. And Garrett is the leader of a strong Cleveland defense. The former Texas A&M star already has 3.5 sacks, which ties him for the league. He has 5 quarterback hits and leads the NFL with 6 tackles for loss. Garrett, he has strength, he has quickness. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler and a 4-time All-Pro, and he was the NFL's Defensive Player in the Year in 2023. Now, the Packers' offensive line, they've got to stop him. Garrett's going to try to line up in different places along the line to create mismatches. But the Packers, we don't know. Zach Tom and Aaron Banks missed last week's game. They were both limited in practice, although they did practice by midweek. Tom dealing with an oblique injury, a torn oblique. That's going to be painful and limit him quite possibly for the rest of the season. So will they play? And if so, will they be at full strength? That's a big question and a big challenge for the Packers offense. Jordan Morgan and Anthony Belton would be the next men up. And I have to say, Belton played well last week after taking a disappointing and costly holding penalty that wiped out a touchdown. Hopefully, Matt LaFleur has some answers as far as keeping the pocket clean, whether it involves rollouts, whether it involves using a tight end or a running back to chip or double team Myles Garrett, or whether it means featuring more quick release passes this week or screen passes. A lot of different options, but this is going to be an interesting cat and mouse game all game long between Garrett and the Packers offense and quarterback. Number two, the flip side of this, the Packers need to pressure quarterback Joe Flacco. Micah Parsons, of course, the Packers' elite pass rusher, and the offensive line for Cleveland. Well, they will have a challenge there. Flacco not exactly mobile like Jaden Daniels was a week ago. And Jeff Hafley, the Packers' defensive coordinator, he'll also move Parsons around to create some mismatches. And then, of course, you've got Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, and Lucas Van Ness there, all of whom can create pressure. And Cleveland, they've allowed 4 sacks in their first 2 games, but this is going to be a bigger challenge. If the Packers can pressure Flacco, they can keep the Browns from getting the ball deep downfield and probably force the veteran into some mistakes. Key number 3, let's get Josh Jacobs in the running game on track. And, we did a video earlier this week and an article earlier this week about the fact that Jacobs hasn't been outstanding yet this year, but it's not really on Jacobs. It's been the run blocking more than anything. Jacobs has gained almost all of his yards, 150 yards in the first 2 games, after first contact. So that's about his ability to break tackles and make something out of nothing. Cleveland has a great run defense. They are the best in the NFL, allowing just 45.5 yards per game over their first 2 contests. The thing is, the Packers don't need to have this breakout running game, but they do need to continue to run the ball enough to keep the Browns defense off balance. And I would like to see Chris Brooks and or Emmanuel Wilson also get some carries, A, to keep Jacobs from wearing down and getting hurt, and B, to give the Browns defense a change of pace. The Packers don't need to dominate here, but they need to run the ball enough to be effective and slow down that Cleveland pass rush. Number 4, Green Bay needs to keep Cleveland's offense one-dimensional, and that means slowing down Quinshon Judkins, the second-round pick out of Ohio State. He made his NFL debut last week against Baltimore, had 61 yards on 10 carries, including a 31-yard dash that highlighted his big play ability. Cleveland has struggled to run the ball. They're averaging just 48.5 yards. They're just not running the ball well, and Green Bay is giving up just 48.5 yards per game on the ground. Cleveland's the number 1 rush defense in the league entering this game. Green Bay is 2. And Colby Wooden has done a really good job. Kudos to him for stepping up and helping to plug the middle of that defense after the departure of Kenny Clark. So if the Packers can contain that running game and force Flacco to throw 40, 45 times a game like he did the last game against Baltimore, that can really, A, help the pass rush, and B, just limit what the Cleveland offense can do. Number 5, on offense, let's spread the ball around in the passing game. Tucker Kraft was the big focus offensively last week, his first 100-yard game. He, though, suffered a knee injury in practice on Thursday. It is not considered serious, but his status for the game on Sunday unknown. Luke Musgrave would have to step up if Kraft either can't go or is limited. Also, obviously, no Jaden Reed. He broke his collarbone, had surgery on the collarbone and on the Jones fracture in his foot. But you still have targets. You still have options. We mentioned Musgrave, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, Malik Heath. They've all contributed to the offense. It is usually, wide receiver by committee for the Packers. But here's the thing to look for. The Browns play more man coverage than almost any team in the league, 46% of the time in their first 2 games. The 2 players who I think will be more effective against man, as far as the wide receivers go, is Dontavian Wicks and Matthew Golden. So look for them to have a little bit more of a good game. And look, Love likes to take his downfield shots. That's what he likes to do. But I think slower, quick release passes, early, maybe some screens, probably a good idea. And then spread the ball around. And number 6, don't turn the ball over. Look, on paper, this is a 2-0 contending Packers team against a rebuilding Browns team that's still trying to get over the Deshaun Watson contract situation. The Packers have done a good job of protecting the ball thus far this season. They've got to continue to do that. If the Packers are not -2 or worse in the turnover battle, they really should win this game. So our prediction for Sunday in Cleveland, look, on paper, this looks easy. It is not. The Packers cannot allow themselves to have an emotional letdown after starting against 2 top quality opponents in Detroit and Washington. The Browns are at home and they're desperate. They are 0-2 and need a win to prevent their season from unraveling before it even gets underway. The Packers are the better team, but Super Bowl contenders prove they can take care of business against lesser opponents. This game won't be a blowout, but the Packers will win it fairly comfortably. Our prediction, Packers 24, Browns 10. And so far, we're 2-0 in our predictions for the Packers. Don't forget to check out our website at thepackerspost.com. We've got new articles every day, Monday through Saturday, on your Green Bay Packers. So check that out. And here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We've got new ones every day, Monday through Friday. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And of course, go Pack Go.